Suppose the rate at which people get a particular disease, measured in people per month, can be modeled by R of t. Find the total number of people who will get the disease during the first 3 months. So, handy fact, the integral of a rate of change gives you total change. So what I've been given is a function for rate of change, right? They gave me a function for rate in people per month. So if we integrate the rate of change, the integral over the first 3 months, 0 to 3, of R of t dt, that should give me the total change, the total number of people who get the disease in the first 3 months. Now let's just remind ourselves why this works. So the units on R of t are people per month. And then the units on dt is months. That's a very small change in time, dt. So people per month times months gives us people, which is what we're looking for, the total number of people who will get the disease in the first 3 months. All right, so this is the integral from 0 to 3 of 10 pi sine of pi over 3t plus 30 dt. Okay, so we just take an antiderivative and then evaluate from 0 to 3. All right, so the antiderivative of 10 pi sine pi over 3t. Well, the 10 pi is going to sort of just come along here. It's just a coefficient. The antiderivative of sine is negative cosine, so I'm going to do negative cosine pi over 3t. But then I have to make sure that if I go backwards now, I just took an antiderivative. If I take a derivative, I should get back to where I started. So my 10 pi stays, that's good. The derivative of cosine is negative sine, so that would take me back to sine, pi over 3t. But then the chain rule says I'd have to multiply by pi over 3, and I don't have that there. So I'm going to, if I put 3 over pi here, then it will cancel. You can also write out a u substitution if that's not clear to you. And then I have plus 30t as my antiderivative of 30. And I'm going to evaluate all of this from 0 to 3. All right, I'm just going to simplify what's in my big parentheses here. My pi's are going to cancel. And negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. So I have negative 30 cosine pi over 3t plus 30t, evaluated from 0 to 3. Okay, so if I plug in a 3 for t, pi over 3 times 3, the 3's cancel and I get pi. The cosine of pi is negative 1. So negative 30 times negative 1 is 30. And then 30 times 3 is 90. So that's just plugging 3 in for my t's in that expression. If I plug a 0 in for all my t's, I get the cosine of 0, which is 1. So negative 30 times 1 is 30, negative 30. Negative 30 times 1 is negative 30. And then if you put a 0 in for that t, you get 0 for this t. So we simplify this. We get 120 plus 30 is 150 people